Hello guys, kindly check this application out. Let's divide our screen using mapping techniques and grade. Without further delay, let's begin. Thank you very much. Let's begin by creating 3 folders in our SRC folder. Call the first one assets, then call the second one components, then call the third one data. So guys, let's take the first folder assets. Now in this project we have no spinners or images, so we leave it blank and move to the next one, components. Let's create a file and call it main page.js. Yeah, so it's our RAFCE. Instead of ordinary div, why don't we make a React fragment? So inside that we have a section and a div to say hello. Let's leave that to the app.js to view on the screen. We go to app.js, then call main page. Let's import main page. Get import main page from components and main page. So that is that. Let's check our screen if we got hello. You can see guys, we got hello on the screen, means we're ready to go. So let me reposition everything since it's mobile first. So now what do we do here? Now our main page is working, but we need our data. So how do we get the data? Let's go to the data folder, then create a file and call it division data.js. So we say export const data. So these are going to be our data. Now let's take our first data. Okay, our first data is going to be number and color. Okay, so we're going to repeat this 15 more times. Good guys, you can see number 2, number 3 with a different color, likewise till 15. So that is that for the data. Now let's go to the main page, then import our data. So over here we say import division data from where? From data/what division data. So that is that. So now over here where the hello is, we can now call our GSS to call the data. So we're going to say division data dot map into brackets. Inside that we should have an item comma index. So this come on, this should give us a function. Yeah, that will return a div with the key. So we say key is what? Index. So that is that. So what do we do next? Let's try it out. Let's call a div and try it out and say item dot number. You can see guys, we got all the numbers. So what we go to do next is to now position these numbers. Now let's give it some class name here. Let's say before the key. Okay, let's do it after the key. So we say class name equals, let's give it bg gray 400. Let's give it width, full, and height. Let's give it 40. Now let's, I can see guys, now let's use the grade to divide the page into 3 columns. So over here we say class name grade calls 3. Yeah, you can see guys, the page has been divided into 3 equal parts. So next to do is to let's give some border to see it. So over here we can continue and say border. Good, you can see that. Now let's give it first 5 pixel. Good. Now let's bring these numbers to the center of the page. So to do that, let's go to app.css, then create a class called center. So let's go to app.css, Good. So over here we say center. So inside that we can call display flex, justify content center, and align item center. So let's call this class in our class name here and say centered. Good. You can see, guys, the numbers are now in the center of the page. So next to do is to now we need the colors from the, you see the app data. Let's close the, okay, when we go through the data, we see you can have the colors, so we need the colors also on board. So to do that, let's go to the same class name. So instead of using the bg gray 400, we need to make the class name dynamic so that we can call the colors over here. So to make it dynamic, we take the quote off. Good. Then introduce the bracket. Then we call the dynamic code, which is down the escape button. Call it over here nicely. Good. So inside that, we can now bring our $sign, then our bracket again, then now call item dot color. You can see, guys, our page has been divided into 15 equal parts. So that is that, guys. Finally, let's make our app responsive, then we can say cheers. So to do that, let's go to the mother div over here, which is the div over here where we did this. So we say at medium screen, make the width to fit, and at same medium screen, make the MX auto. So let's check it out. You can see, guys. So that is that. Thank you so much for sticking to. Catch you in the next one. Please don't forget to do good. We say cheers.